In the late 17th century, the town of Salem, Massachusetts, found itself entangled in the throes of a nightmarish hysteria. It was a time and place where fear purged reason, leading to one of the most infamous chapters in American history, the Salem-witch-trials. Central to these proceedings was the mysterious and sinister concept of the witch's mark. The witch's mark, purportedly a tangible indication of a pact with the devil, became a critical piece of evidence used against the individuals accused of witchcraft. However, the reality and interpretation of these marks tell a story of ignorance, fear, and tragedy. The notion of the witch's mark was deeply embedded in European folklore and superstition long before Salem's trials. It was believed that witches, upon entering into a diabolical covenant, would receive a mark from the devil himself. This mark could take many forms: a mole, a scar, a birthmark, or any seemingly unusual skin blemish. Accusers saw these marks as physical proof of allegiance to dark forces, a manifestation of evil inscribed on the flesh. In the panic-stricken atmosphere of 1692 Salem, the hunt for the witch's mark became a harrowing and invasive practice. Authorities, seeking to justify their arrests and lend credence to accusations, employed this dubious method to identify witches among them. The examination of the accused was often brutal and humiliating, with their bodies subjected to scrutiny in search of these alleged marks. The question remains, were these marks ever real evidence? The accused, men and women alike, were often individuals who were marginalized in society, those who were outspoken, defiant, or simply different. In Salem's fervor, a curious mole could be reshaped by imagination into a devil's signature. These so-called marks were frequently nothing more than innocuous skin imperfections, reinterpreted through the lens of paranoia and superstition. Among the victims was Sarah Good, a destitute woman whose outward defiance and poverty made her a target. When examined, she was identified with a witch's mark, conveniently reinforcing the narrative of her guilt. Such cases illustrate the tragic reality. These marks were not divine evidence, but rather tools wielded by fear. Historical analyses have revealed that the fear of witches reflected broader societal anxieties. Salem's Puritans lived in a rapidly changing world, where existed a deep tension between traditional beliefs and emerging scientific understanding. The trials, and by extension the fascination with the witch's mark, functioned as a misguided attempt to impose control over the chaos of life. Of course, the marks themselves never held any real power. Their significance was the power society gave them, symbols of moral and societal corruption. Over time, though, they became emblematic of the dangers of mass hysteria and the consequences of abandoning rationality. As we look back over 3 centuries later, we're reminded of the witch's mark and what it represents. It's a haunting symbol of justice gone awry, but also a poignant lesson on the human capacity for fear and its ramifications. These marks might have been trivial physical features, but they had the power to alter lives and history, forever sealing the fate of the accused within the ominous chapters of the Salem Chronicles. Today, visiting Salem leaves one with an indelible sense of how human frailty can lead societies astray. The stories of the accused persist as a solemn warning. While many factors fueled the trials, the fixation on identifying witches through the imagined witch's mark epitomizes how easily fear can cloud judgment. It underscores the peril in allowing unsubstantiated claims to manifest into evidence that convicts and destroys lives. Though centuries have passed, the tale of the witch's mark remains vitally relevant, underscoring the need for critical thinking and empathy. In remembering the plight of those wrongfully accused and persecuted, we not only honor their memory, but also cultivate an awareness essential to preventing such injustices from reawakening. Let us remember the witch's mark not as a relic of a darker age, but as a perpetual reminder of the value of wisdom over superstition and a tribute to the lives irrevocably altered by a society's unchecked fear. For in understanding the past, we forge a path toward a more just and enlightened tomorrow.